Alright, welcome back everyone to another episode of Stories from the Unbound Shores. Where I last left off, half of the party had gone, including Eskel and Aurelion, had gone to the Temple of Cord to try and understand why Aurelion would black out. And the other half of the party of Dirk, Melsari, and Al went to the Hall of Histories to see what other information they could find. And as I recall, we had finally gotten Eskel on peaceful terms with the Temple of Cord and healed, as I recall.
Yes.
And I believe that Dirk and Melsari were looking to regroup and discuss their findings.
Very nearly.
What did we find?
I hope you remember, because I don't.
I know we found something about the dude that Melsari had been wondering about.
Curious dude. Hang on, I'm looking for the chat log.
But I don't remember if there was anything relevant to current endeavors that we had unearthed.
It's been far too many weeks. I forgot to do that before the session. Oh well, I will do it now. Also, if someone would be willing to do me a big favor and just be willing to jot down names of NPCs, I'd appreciate it, because I can never remember to either A, write them down, or B, remember them.
I'm trying to at least write down the ones that I am talking to. So hang.
This is why I have a list of NPCs for Everybody Loves Riken that's 150 names long.
Like the guard that was helping us out is named Thorin.
Oakenshield?
I don't know.
I'm gonna go, no, that's more of like an elven last name.
Thorin Oakenshield is literally the name of the lead dwarf in The Hobbit.
It's been too long since I've read the book or seen the movies.
He's played by the same guy who blew up the place in Captain America.
Blue of what?
In Captain America, First Avenger, you know the guy who assassinated what's the professor's name?
No, I don't remember.
It's
anything
neither
about
here nor
that.
there.
Erskine, something like that. Remember the guy who shoots him, steals the vial, and then runs off, and Captain America chases him and punches the submarine and drags him out, but he has the...
Bailey.
Yeah, that's him. That's the guy who played Thorin.
So, apologies for not being able to remind you what it was that you found, that I forgot to look at the video from last session.
I don't think we ever actually worked out the details of what we found regarding the Nith. But the important things that we got from other stuff is that the tablet regarding Atlas's rampage was likely damaged on behalf of Vecna. They're working on figuring out who actually did it. And activity logs or personal journals are going to be the way to find accounts of the Forbidden Fortress prior to the assault, which would be in the library or the king's personal collection. Due to, and I'm now going to, if you guys are cool with me going kind of into character.
Yeah, thumbs up.
Alright, so I'm still in the library with Dirk. Eskel. Not here. Anyway.
That was me as a
Um,
player giving you the thumbs up to go into character.
I don't know why. I just felt like it felt like Eskel. Anyway, I mean you're Eskel. I'm gonna stop mumbling now and actually play. So anyway, so we're reading about this myth of the wizard, and I'm just gonna suddenly kind of straighten up like something's just occurred to me and turn to Dirk. Dirk, the guard. He mentioned the king having a particular connection to the Forgotten Fortress. Is that something that we're already aware of? Is that something that was discussed previously?
Out of character, I have no clue.
All right. Well,
So,
then
uh,
I'll inform you. No, nothing of the like has been discussed.
okay, cool. I don't think I'd been told anything like that. It seemed that we were sent there for mainly strategic purposes, which is entirely fair.
Strategic and to clean the statues. So, do you think it perhaps is a religious connection or something deeper than that? We should ask the guard. Should we ask the guard or should we just talk to the king directly?
I mean, if we need to talk to the king anyway, he's going to be the one with more answers.
Yes, but would he be willing to give them up easily? Whereas this guard...
And we can see if he knows anything, but he didn't seem all that knowledgeable about the subject. But it couldn't hurt to try, since I think we need to go past him anyway to leave.
Melisari is deep in thought for a moment. Hang on. You would agree that this is something very important for us to know, yes?
Any information we can glean about what happened at the Forgotten Fortress is information that we can use to solve the problem with Atlas. So, yes.
Alright, Melisari is nodding to herself. And is now going to cast Detect Thoughts
Okay.
before approaching the guard. And thinking. Thorin, you mentioned the king having a personal connection to the Forgotten Fortress. I know he requested that we care for the statues to the gods while we were there. Is it just a religious connection, or is there something deeper to it?
It could be a little bit of both, but it was his grandmother that designed the place. That's more what I was referring to.
Ah. Interesting, very interesting. Does he have any additional thoughts on it?
Let me think. Nothing really. He'd mostly just be kind of... There'd be a few images, but nothing that would really tell you anything more than what he just said. Well, aside from the fact that he is not lying.
Yeah, okay. Okay, cool. Well then we thank you for your time. I think it's about time that we head back, right, Dirk?
I think that seems wise.
Okay.
And as you two go to leave, Al will pipe up, saying that she wants to stay behind, that there was one or two things she wanted to check first, but for you guys to go ahead.
Okay, will we meet up with you later?
Yes, the library or in where?
I don't know.
Just pick one.
I don't know.
Or
Well, I'm
pick some.
pretty sure. Could be worth stopping there if the king doesn't have any logs in his private collection.
Alright, then I will head there once I'm done here.
Alright, I hope you find what you're looking for. Okay. How far? How long of a walk is it back to the king?
Not too long. A few minutes.
Alright. Well, then I guess I just let Detect Thoughts drop. And we'll consider recasting it before we get to the king.
Are we going to try and speak with the king, just the two of us, or did we want to go to the library first, look there, and then if we can't find anything, go and see the king with all of us, since I think we needed to see him again anyway?
We do need to see him again. I just wasn't sure how long it's been since, and how long we were supposed to take, if it's time or not, basically. That's what I'm trying to say. So, I mean, I was thinking I'd like to meet up with Eskel, see if he has any thoughts on how to proceed with this information and how to request and whatever else. And meet up all together.
Okay, so we should go and meet up with Eskel and Aurelian.
Yes.
Okay. Is it the time for that, or 'cause we know that they went to the temple? So is it the time to meet them at the place that we said we were going to meet, or should we go and hunt them down at the temple?
I will. Time is nebulous, as you guys all know, so it can be either one. Do you guys have a preference?
I believe Eskel had suggested the party meet back up in 2 hours, which should give everybody ample time to have the conversations they needed to have.
Yeah, so the question is, at
Has
this
it
point,
been
has it been
hours?
that time, or is it, an hour and we should go to the temple to speak with you guys now?
Let's go with it's been like an hour, maybe hour and a half.
Okay, so we go to the temple.
Yeah, sure.
Alright. You guys want to move your tokens, you're looking for the orange building on the left of the map.
Yes. I just disappeared. Oh, I'm on the roof. Okay.
I feel like if you're moving yourself a long distance, if you're not going to use the arrow keys, the best thing to do is hold left shift and click. Actually, players can do that, right?
Yep, they can teleport.
Okay.
Where are we going?
It's the same tier of the city as the,
All the way to the west.
I don't see Eskel and... Oh, never mind, I see them now.
We're inside the building.
Yeah.
Or you can go that way, I'll just open the door for you.
I don't know where. Oh, I'm on. Okay, there we go. Now we can. There we
There
are.
we are. Oh, hey, look, there's people in here.
I do not just jump from the roof down onto the
Yeah, no.
fighting
Walk
pit.
through the door.
Just landing on somebody, be like, okay, who's next?
We walk through the door, and I think I'm letting Eskel go, or Dirk go ahead of me.
Okay.
There's people trying to kill each other here. I'm not interested.
Kill each other. Yet.
Well, You mean anymore?
Also that.
Although they weren't trying to kill each other at that point. But I don't know any of this.
Regardless, you have entered the temple, and you don't see Eskel or Aurelion anywhere.
Okay. Dirk will find the nearest cleric-looking person. The nearest
Alright.
person who looks like they work here that does not appear to be particularly busy.
That would be this guy.
Okay. I approach that guy. Wave.
Is there something I can help you with, sir?
We're looking for two companions of ours who should have been here not that long ago. It was... what kind of elf is Aurelian? Is he a high elf? What elf?
High elf.
Pretty sure he's
Who's the high elf?
Okay.
Sounds like someone's eating.
A high elf and a drow.
Ah, those two. Yeah, they're in the back. Follow me. Alright. Took one too many steps to...
And look,
Here
all
you are.
I'm saying is, I really think they should just have a better system, figuring out who's around and whether or not they should be, rather than just attack people. Oh, our friends are here.
Trouble?
Not anymore.
Person shouldn't be... Oh, and I have lost my ability to see. One moment. Where did... Well, they're gone now. Good enough.
I think they're in the ceiling.
Yep.
They're up on the-
They walk in and they're just like, and now I take my leave, and just jump.
That's real fucking bizarre. There was just a head sticking out of the floor above us. Okay, anyway.
We came, as you know, to ask about Aurelion's condition, and they decided that I must have snuck my way all the way through the city and into their temple, and then presented myself to them, you know, as an offering.
Given where in the city we're located, that seems extremely difficult.
You know, I
are
thought the
very
same
impressive.
thing.
I'm trying to close this door, and it won't let me close it. Thank you.
I
You
just
just
realized I
struggle
was
with the
muted.
door for a bit, and then
What?
you just like stop, take a breath, and then it closes. Like there's just a breeze that shuts it.
I raise my arm and show, like, blood staining the clothing under my armor. Like, so no, it was fine.
They at least restored you to health. No, sorry, asking grumpily.
The short answer to that question is yes.
Good.
But yes, I'm not altogether impressed with the way they're organized here.
Did they at least have any useful information about Aurelian's condition?
I think I'll let him
Dirk
speak
turns
to that.
Aurelian when he's asking that.
Maybe. Out of character, I can't remember. Did they mention something about checking some other place?
Yes, they had mentioned checking, I believe it's Alzed, the capital that's to the south of here on the coast.
Okay, I'll just. Yeah, I think they seem to think that some other place, Alazid maybe, might be a better fit for finding information.
Well, that's at least more to go on than we had before.
They did say a couple other things, Aurelion.
Out of character, I have completely forgotten what they said. How long
Alright.
has it been?
Yeah, that's been
2 weeks.
3 weeks. It's been a while, but that part I do remember, so I can remind you.
Yeah. But they did mention. Did they say that they'd heard this kind of thing before?
Yes, and they put you through some training to see if they could try and fix it. And
Oh,
while it
that's right,
had
yes.
some effect, they thought you might be better off looking for someone else that is a berserker, as they called it, like yourself, in Alzid, as it seems to be most common among half-orcs and Goliaths.
I relay the information what I do remember.
Okay.
Short story is, they don't think that this is a head injury of any kind, but they think another fighting master might be able to tell him more about what's going on. And, they were able to trigger the response, and you have some memory of it, you said?
Yeah, I remember punching that one guy.
Improvement.
Sounds like he deserved it, so...
Yeah, Melisari smiled.
Good.
Yeah, you'll remember a distinct black eye on the person who led you in here.
Okay, so I'm kind of glancing back and forth at them, making sure that they're done talking.
Like, Eskel is just sort of stubbornly dabbing at the blood on his outfit and, like, mumbling to himself.
Oh, hang on a second.
Soda will take that right out.
I'm going to cast Prestidigitation. Does it work on bloodstains?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
good, perfect.
No, the area around the bloodstain, like, pristine. The bloodstain just gets, like, deeper.
Okay, but you know, blood is notoriously difficult to get out of clothing.
Yeah, but magic.
Yes, and this is magic.
No,
It depends, actually, it depends what your blood type is.
What?
Sam, stop!
Oh my goodness.
He's being a butthead.
No,
Sam,
you
as
remove
much
all
as I
the
appre-
impurities. The
Sam,
blood.
as much as
the
I appreciate
stain
you,
is still there, but it's a clean stain.
Oh my god.
as much as I appreciate you guys, let's tone down the chaos gremlin just a smidge.
Aw, but the chaos is fun.
Just a smidge, I said.
Anyway,
I will move it to chat.
I forgot what I was saying other than casting Prestidigitation.
The bloodstain is gone. And, Eskel looks up and says, "Thank you."
It's what I'm useful for.
Well, one
Other
of the many
things, though.
things.
On that note, so we talked about, or we asked about the tablet where we found that information about Atlas. Supposedly, it appears to have been damaged on behalf of Vecna. So, not really sure what that's all about. Probably something that we'll have to address.
My character knows who Vecna is, Mr. DM. Shall I roll a
Yes.
religion check?
Due to Ione, the primary pantheon is known. Even Vecna, I guess in this case, actually especially Vecna. Although, when
He's not so
Not
much the
like-
whispered one as the shouted one.
more like the shouted at one.
It's just like, and this
But
fucker
if you're
over
not-
here.
If you're not like directly talking about him, his like kind of one of his eerier effects is that his name always seems to slip from your mind. Like if you try to actively, find information on him, like and stuff like that, you can because of Ione, but the subconscious will slip away.
Which is why I wrote it in my journal. Cough, cough, cough. Yes, definitely.
Unfortunately, you spilled some ink right on the name. I don't know when or how that happened.
They believe... If they believe this was a direct intervention by the God of Secrets, that there's... we should suspect his direct involvement in events that we're dealing with.
They made it sound... Well, they made it sound, first off, as though someone had done it. An agent of his has done it. They are no closer to determining who said agent is, as far as I'm aware. But yes.
And if all of you could roll religion checks, appreciate it, because there is one thing I'd like to inform you of, but this isn't exactly a given.
I blame my cat for this roll. 9.
I got a 16.
11.
Yeah, I got an 11 as well.
Alright. Then, Isful, with your high roll and upbringing in mind, you are aware that a little bit of how Vecna's kind of structure, like how his kind of organization is structured. And in this case, he doesn't generally have temples and things of that nature. It's not really kind of organizing points. He tends to have single followers, usually embedded as spies in other places and things.
Yes.
So if it's an agent of his, it's likely, a traitor of some kind within the city.
Say, likely this is the work of one of the people working within that facility, unbeknownst to the rest of them. That is how the God of Secrets and Plots does his business.
Nelisari nods thoughtfully.
So interestingly, did any of the people you dealt with while seeking information there seem particularly disinclined that the effort you were putting in would be worth it?
We only spoke to one guard by the name of Thorin, the one who had helped us out previously, and he didn't seem to be hiding anything, holding anything back to me.
So when you went to the temple, this repository of knowledge, there wasn't anyone there to explain its contents?
Voice in the sky?
You hadn't been approached by anyone. It's possible that there was someone like that there, but no one like that came seeking you out, and you didn't go to find them either. So you're not aware of one, but it's not something you can rule out.
In either case, in any event, what I am inducing from this is that if Vecna has seen fit to implant an agent here to tamper specifically with the information that we seek about Death Knight, then he probably has a hand in the actions of that Death Knight, which he wishes to obfuscate from us.
That sounds reasonable.
It is still to be proven out. That is what my inductive reasoning tells me.
Is it possible that he rather struck a bargain with the god?
Well, if my catechism serves me, Vecna is one of the chief deities concerned with undeath. And a Death Knight would be that. However, this did happen some 500 years ago when Nerul still had command of the domain of death, and as I recall, he was not terribly bothered himself by the undead, not in the way that the Raven Queen is. But I'm not an expert. I'm a paladin of Bahamut.
I think it largely hinges on when the damage was done. If it was done further in the past, I think it's more likely that Vecna is covering his own tracks. If it happened more recently, I think it is possible that perhaps Atlas somehow made a deal in order to prevent us from getting closer to him.
Both seem possible. And both give over to the fact that whatever is going on, preventing us from getting the information, or anyone, perhaps not specifically us, serves Vecna. So we need to, or could, it could help us, to figure out exactly how it is that this god of secrets and plots is benefiting from hiding this information, what plot it serves.
Indeed.
But first I think I would like to get out of this temple. It displeases me.
There was one other note that we determined, or that we discovered. As it turns out, the king's grandmother was the one who designed the temple, or the fortress. Right? That was what we said?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
So he has a
direct
vested sentimental interest in recovering this work of architecture.
Quite probably. It also means he may have, or it was suggested to us that he may have logs of what was going on at the fortress at the time of Atlas's takeover as well.
Oh, that
Which
certainly
may
would be
not
useful.
Be inclined, depending on what he knows of Eleanor and what was going on there, but we shall see.
I feel confident that he himself probably didn't know much of anything, but anyone overseeing the project there, if was logged, would be a good reason. So, I agree with the course of action of going and asking the king about this. You ready to go, Aurelion?
Yep. Let's get out of here.
I can't open the door again.
You're... Oh, there it is. Oh, no, that's Eskel. I'll need to test that later.
What?
I'm curious as to why you can't request open doors. I'll move Aurelion.
I was gonna come back for him once we'd done our moving.
Shit.
But okay.
Yeah, but I
Just
mean,
by the way,
since there's 4 tokens, 4 of us, you know.
I didn't want to.
All you people who like to fly instead of walking.
I look uncomfortable.
I get to feel tall.
Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that they have a new thing in Tailspire.
Oh.
They have they have started implementing status emotes, so now I can have someone be knocked down.
Nice.
Oh, I still only have some.
It's a different one. It's that.
Look at me!
So if you're ever on a bed and want to be lying down, that's kind of your best option for that. You still went the whole line. That's funny.
I'm surprised when you say laying down for, though. That's kind of cute. Anyway.
Indeed. No. God damn it, Sam.
Oh, man.
I stopped paying attention.
Uh-oh, Aurelian fell down. We're on Tensor's floating discs.
I miss Tensor's floating disk.
Ah, it was just a little
I
too.
don't think Laramentis has ever actually cast it.
It's not as good in this edition.
It's really not. You're relatively expected, so you're kind of waved in, at least to that door, at which point, an announcement is made. And then the doors will open in front of you.
I want to do a history check to see if I know the proper form of address for the king.
Mm.
Because I know that was a question last time.
I mean, I mostly did it to bother Sam.
13.
Dirk was unbothered.
Well, he's called a king, so likely His Highness or Your Majesty would be adequate.
What about your grace? Your grace sounds better.
Give it a try and find out.
Thanks.
It was one of the things that Eskel said last time.
Okay. But was it acceptable?
Well, he didn't seem to be
I
offended.
think you'd
so-
know.
We
if it
were
was
never
unacceptable.
thrown out.
As I recall from last session, you, from Eskel kind of changing his form of address pretty much every time he spoke, it seemed to be that the king isn't particularly picky when it comes to that sort of thing, so long as it's at least a term of respect.
My lord, no. Anyway.
I mean, it's just that Lord and Grace are usually lower titles than Highness.
Whatever.
Well, out here, there's not really any other titles except his, so I don't think he cares. There's King, and then there's Effer. That's about it.
I really like those pretty guards in the back. Anyway.
I mean, you gotta have your royal guard outfitted in something nice. Alright, so you're here. He just kind of gestures for you to speak.
I guess I'm just gonna quickly glance at the others, and if no one... Shut up, Pascal. If no one, addresses anything, she will say, Your Highness, you have been extremely helpful, very kind to us in our, endeavors. I have one further thing to ask, if that is possible.
What is it you require?
One of the guards at the Hall of Histories mentioned that it was in fact your grandmother who designed the fortress and suggested that perhaps any personal logs or activity logs of that time you might have in a private collection. I think knowing what was going on at the time of Atlas's assault may be beneficial to taking him down completely. If we might access any of that information.
Remind me again, why is it you need this? In what way would it be helpful?
Well, Atlas stormed the fortress, presumably for a reason. If we can discern that reason, it may help us better ascertain his oaths and how exactly he forsook them. Forsook them?
Forsook. In short, you have a Death Knight still inhabiting the ruins you wish to take possession of. And if your forces get there before we have solved that problem, then you will have to deal with an angry Death Knight who can lay waste to your army. This will help us prevent that from happening.
He eyes the group of you for a while. One of you two that were doing the speaking, make a persuasion check at advantage.
I feel like that should be you, Eskel.
Right. My persuasion check is
I
a
also
23.
really wish I had casted Detect Thoughts before coming in here. But anyway.
23.
So he kind of eyes the group from that. And then kind of sighs. You make a sound argument. As much as I don't like it, I suppose I can let you have a look. Under supervision, of course.
Of course. Again, thank you. I certainly hope that this will aid our cause.
As do I. And that fortress has brought this kingdom no end of grief. Hopefully, we'll see the end of that in my lifetime.
We will, of course, do everything in our power to make it so.
In hindsight, I should have had like a servant-esque token along these halls somewhere too. So we're just gonna pretend there's one there. And so he kind of, signals for one to approach. Like,
What's that for?
That's the servant.
Oh, okay. The servant's name is 3, I guess.
Makes sense.
Alright. So he'll tell him to go fetch the particular book. I can't move that. Well, I can throw it, but I can't pick it up and move it.
Takes him a while to get it. You rolled a 1.
Alright, so he goes through the back door here.
Oop.
And after a little bit, he comes back and he hands it off. So, So, is there anything else you can tell me about this Death Knight or the other problems that you have discovered along the way?
We can only tell you what we have learned in our journey to try and end his threat to the world. That he was... Actually, I am forgetting. Was he elven or human? He was human, right?
He was human.
Yeah. That he was human, from a prominent family to the south. A branch of the Sinclair family. And that he had sworn an oath of vengeance during his lifetime as a paladin. Appears, at least according to the spirit of a former loved one of his, that his vengeance oath was against a person who had lied in order to strip him of his landed holdings, and that somehow this led up to his loved one being captured and held against her will by the dwarves of the Forsaken Fortress, at which point he stormed it. What? Forgotten Fortress. At which point he stormed it and killed all of the forces there, but was not in time to save the life of his loved one. And he has haunted it and the land surrounding for the last 500 years, as she wanders as a spirit, unaware of her own demise. It is our belief that if we can solve what is binding her spirit and understand what caused him to break whatever oath it was he actually made, that we can remove him as a threat, and lay them both to rest, as they deserve to be.
And you hope to glean this from my grandmother's journal.
We hope to understand better what happened back then. If we have a better picture of how and why these people died, then we can better understand our enemy. We need to understand what oath he made so that we can know what oath he broke. For that, according to our contacts within the Temple of the Raven Queen, is the only way to become a Death Knight. Is to die with a broken oath.
Very well. I forgot his name. Oh, I didn't give him a name. He'll call to his steward and say, and take these four into the dining hall and keep an eye on them as they try and find what they need.
But of course, sir.
So that would be this guy down here that happens to look exactly like the king, at least in game.
King's brother.
Right this way. Nope. I gotta need to turn off snapping for this place, because this one's a little cramped.
Everybody's got a big old feast prepared.
There wouldn't actually be food there at this particular time. That's mostly just for aesthetics. But yes, there'd be a large table, decently well lit, and a secluded and secure place that you could peruse this journal under supervision.
Okay. And let the perusal begin.
Alright, so what is it you guys are... Well, I guess I've kind of been asking that already. So you're trying to find out, why,
Why Eleanor was taken prisoner. Seemed to have been taken prisoner by the dwarves of the Forgotten Fort. There must have been a reason.
Okay. With the four of you looking through it, you will find the information, but I'm curious who finds it. So...
Roll
If
investigation.
you guys... yeah,
Probably
investigation
one of the 2 who have a chance of reading Dwarvish.
Jesus, that's right.
Actually, it's not in Dwarvish, it's in Common.
Okay. Interesting.
Which is odd,
What?
so there's a chance it's a translation, but... so, like, that is an odd detail, but it is in Common.
Okay.
I got a 7.
Alright, so all of you roll investigation, and Malsari, being bookish as you are, roll an advantage.
I'm rolling at advantage.
Yes, because you
'Cause
go
you're a
through
study
books a
bug.
lot. That's kind of your thing.
Yay, 26.
I got a 7.
Hey, 7 bros.
Same hat.
Alright,
I can't get a 7.
so... alright, as much
Wait,
as
hold
I
on, you
say,
forgot Aurelion.
Yeah.
A second.
Still eating.
is
He's
I-
gorging himself
Yes,
instead of
it's a good-
reading.
So that's either a 7 or a 19. My die landed so that it was kind of on the edge between the two.
I vote a 7.
I've also
so that
voted
you
I
can
vote
Seven.
join our
7 so
club.
that there's 7, 7, 7, and 26.
And 777 is jackpot.
We win.
Boom.
So, I hate to say this, but I have to use the restroom, but on the bright side, this will give me a good time to make sure I have the exact phrasing of what I want to be found.
Okay.
Feel
I
free
feel
to
like 10
talk
is the
amongst
lowest you
yourselves.
can get.
What?
I feel like 10 is the lowest you can get.
It's not. 8 is.
Oh.
For
So
now.
who else speaks Dwarvish?
The dwarf.
The other one that could have done it would have been Melisari with casting Comprehend Language.
Which might
Army.
still be up. It should still
Oh,
be
you
up.
speak Dwarvish?
Yeah, that's sort of the other language I took.
Oh, okay. I did not know that.
Actually, it wouldn't still be up.
Also, for that. But we were off in the Temple of Kord anyway.
It hasn't come up in the other game either, but Jebel speaks Halfling.
Huh. Laramir does not speak Halfling.
We haven't gone any place where the language of the area is Halfling, so it hasn't really come up.
Or Gnomish, really. Oh, no, wait, no, we did.
Yeah. You're in a place that was very
A
distinctly
very
Gnomish.
important place that was very Gnomish. Yeah.
It helped us not get as dead as we could have.
I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
I think Garland must have been a very forgettable place.
Oh, it's gone from my mind anyway.
Garland's a character in something.
Final Fantasy.
Oh.
He's I think the villain in the very first one.
Yes. That sounds correct.
I feel like
That would
it
make
says
sense, because in 8-bit theater, that's...
Yes. I was gonna say.
I've
Is it
I've
his
actually
greatest
played and
enemy
beaten
or,
the first
like-
one.
What is it, his greatest enemy are like the forest goblins or something like that who keep stealing stuff from him?
Hang on, I'm going to the disambiguation on Wiki.
No, I thought I was incredibly clever calling the place Garland because it was Garl land.
Alright, fiction. First boss and main antagonist of Final Fantasy 1, an antagonist in Final Fantasy 9, a character in 8-bit theater, and a character from Beyblade.
Beyblade.
Wait, Garland is in Final Fantasy 9?
Yes.
Or is it who is he in 9?
I don't know.
He's just one of the
Bad
enemy
Garland.
minion guys. Like, one of the underlings to the main bad guy.
Made leader of Terra when the original inhabitants of Terra went into their deep sleep. He is responsible for overseeing the genomes and has created the 3 Angels of Death.
I don't remember that
Fuck,
happening in 9.
spoilers.
I did not get far enough into 9 to see that. I really should get back to Final Fantasy 9. I love that game.
I should play the rest of the Final Fantasies in general.
9 was tough for me.
finished.
I had a lot more trouble getting into 9 than I did 7 and 8.
Oh no, I love 9. 9, I don't know, there's just something about the atmosphere of 9 that I just really like.
I mean, it
Like, they
was
went
kind
with
of a
the
return
minions.
to the old Final Fantasy.
Yeah, but I loved one of the things I really loved was you start off on like plateaus, and it's like
Yeah.
all the ships you see sail through the mist, and that's all. and then you descend down into it, and now you're below that, and you're in the mist.
Yeah.
But the world map you have is only of one continent, but then eventually it's like, oh no, there are actually more continents.
Yeah.
And then it's like they slowly expand the available world.
I think part of my
I think
problem
is
getting
really
into it was I just never got into Garnet's character. There was too many, like, weird little quirky tropes they were stuffing into her that I just didn't... I didn't like it. Garnet
like,
really
she didn't know
bothered me.
Didn't know what a dagger was.
Didn't know what a dagger was, and then decided it was gonna be her nickname. Her new code name. It's also funny, I was watching,
I'm back.
a streamer playing 9 recently, and they're playing it in Japanese, so just... Even though it's basically, spelling-wise, it's basically the same name, it's, like, you've got Zidane in English, but in Japanese he was Jitan. It just has a totally different feel to it for me. Alright. So, what did we learn?
So, as you guys are going through it, Melisari will spot a line, referring, that says, we can't get Atlas's help soon. Finding where those drow are hiding. This project will be all for naught. Perhaps it's time for more drastic measures.
Holy shit. Or some variety in Elvish. Melisari curses in Elvish. We'll say.
Alright?
I think I can
75% of the party understands.
Am I reading this correctly?
I think I understand why he was hesitant to let anyone else read this book.
I suspected it might be the case. Or at least, I suspected he would be hesitant. That did not surprise me. This...
At this point, the steward will step over and, say, now to be clear, His Majesty has allowed you to read this book in hopes that it will help free his people of his past family's failings. But this information is not to leave this room.
However horrifying his family's past failings are, our sole purpose is to take down Atlas, and whatever they did. She kind of stops talking because she's not entirely sure she believes what she's saying anymore. But she just kind of trails off.
We do not judge living by the failing of the people who are dead.
That I can agree 100% with.
Appreciated. As you are outsiders, you may not know the town's knowledge of this subject. While they don't know exactly what happened, they do know that, well, what they know is a bit nebulous, but what happened at the fortress has always been considered a black spot on the family's record, but they still put him in charge in spite of that. He is a good leader, but people might begin to second guess that with no real reason, should this come out.
He did not make this decision. We cannot hold him accountable for it.
But we have the power to correct this error. And set right what once was made so wrong.
But what does this actually tell us?
It tells us that he had an agreement with the dwarves here to locate and potentially remove a drow threat nearby, and when he did not deliver on a timeline that pleased them, they took Eleanor as incentive.
Indeed. Hang on, though. Clarifying... Had he agreed and not delivered quickly enough, or had he been yet to agree? My initial understanding was that they were trying to enlist his help, and he had not yet given it.
Had yet to agree would be what the journal seems to indicate. You can... I've kind of given you a basis to work from, but there is more in the journal, so if you guys have more questions you want to direct there, maybe more I can answer.
Yeah, perhaps we should get more content.
Yeah, more context as well. Why he was refusing. Is it possible that his refusal is what led them to be discredited?
Probably he was offered the work. We need to figure out what the timeline is. I have a suspicion that he was offered the work after he had lost his holdings and sworn his oath.
From what you guys know, that is the case, as if he's in Elysium, that's after he lost his holdings, because he was originally from Steelport, but kind of banished here as part of that.
And so, if his oath to exact revenge upon those who had caused his fall in Steelport, perhaps what he did at the Forgotten Fortress was considered a breach of that? We need to know what his oath, but at least this gives us pause. And is the journal, because is this like a log or just like a diary? Is there any kind of...
It's like both log and personal journal.
Okay, and so there is a way to set these entries to a timeline.
Yes, they would be dated.
So what we've learned is when the decision to pressure Atlas was made, we know that they were trying to get him to do this work after he had been banished here, after he had sworn his oath. And we know that Eleanor's spirit is trapped there, and that he became a Death Knight at some point thereafter, which means he died with a broken oath. What we need to figure out is what his original oath was, so we can understand how he broke it. Honestly, that's the only thing we need to understand.
I want to go back a little further in the journal, see if it does talk about previous conversations with Atlas, if there's any mention of why he was reluctant to help.
It doesn't mention why he's reluctant to help. He, the author of the journal seems confused as to why he's reluctant. Just that for some reason he seems to be trying to the defense of these drow and refusing to go after them or reveal where they are.
Could it be the drow that were mentioned by those in the friendly drow as opposed to the other Loth drow?
Hard to know. So this was 500 years ago.
Okay, fine, fair enough.
I mean, it's
I
possible.
mean-
I'm not saying it's not possible. I'm just saying that they're
No,
going
I
to be.
know.
Well,
Still, it might be worth seeking them out to see if it is a part of their history, if they're aware of it at all.
pointing at the journal, Eskel says, "Does it say how the person in charge here came to select Atlas as the person who would do this for them?"
After some scanning of the, nearby pages, it seems to be that he was picked because he was either just the person they could find that knew where these drow were, like where they were hiding, or that he was the only person that knew where they were hiding. But they seem to need him to find them.
Does it say why they wanted to get rid of them? Had they acted specifically against them? Or was it just the general drow in the area must eradicate?
A little bit of column A, a little bit of column B. They seem to have never really... They never attacked directly, but they did seem to manage to steal supplies. Or at least they suspect it was the drow that were stealing supplies. There was one, maybe two instances where there were casualties on the dwarven side, but mostly just theft.
And let us not forget that they were drow.
Yes, I'm aware. I'm trying to parse out if it was possible that he was against killing them because they were not a problem, as the others that have been not a problem.
I doubt it would say as much in there. They probably just chalk him up as a drow sympathizer, and humanoids have never needed much reason beyond "I saw one nearby" to go and kill drow.
Indeed.
Not that those that follow Lolth have ever given them much reason to think much else. That is Lolth's doing.
Melisari kind of just smiles wryly.
I think perhaps it is time. Follow up that lead about the nearby not so violent drow. Given our lifespan, there's a good chance that somebody among them remembers these events.
I'm sorry, weren't you just a few sessions ago, well, okay, more than a few sessions ago, confused about your own lifespan? In and out of character.
Never out of character.
Half in character. Or rather, I'm saying this like half in character. Like, weren't you just like, how much longer could I live? Just like yesterday or something.
I mean, you tell me that our lifespan is the same as yours, and you're older than me.
Yeah, I was like raising an eyebrow, like inviting you to continue that statement.
I'm just saying that, I trust the information you've given me, and it sounds like a worthy lead to chase down.
Indeed.
If you don't think it is, tell me.
I absolutely think it is. I am just amused by the discrepancy.
Look, despite my appearance, I do have the ability to learn and grow. So, Elves live a long time. Drow also live a long time. I've learned.
She's just kind of smirking, but will become more serious and say, yes, I do think that it's possible that even if no one there was directly around for it, they may have family who was a mother, a grandmother, someone in the recent past who knew.
And if it's as the gnomes told us, that they are not followers of Lolth, I imagine that they would keep stories of a humanoid that protected them. That would be important. I would find that important.
Melisari is nodding and also starting to just skim through the journal. Just getting a general sense of what life was like in the fortress. Problems they had.
Latrines.
Oh my goodness.
No, that would be a problem they had. We never saw any.
No, there were 3.
That we did not see.
I mean, it was kind of implied that you saw them because there was an enemy in one of them, and you guys chose to eradicate all of them.
Wait, there was an enemy in a shithole?
Yep, because he had he was kind of sick the day he died, and so
Oh yeah, I
that's kind of the
remember you
routine
saying
he
that.
had.
I remember you saying that.
There was not an adequate amount of latrines for the number of people operating the facility.
Perhaps not, but first time designing one of these things.
Well, get better, Grandma.
Oh goodness, Grandma can't get better. Grandma's dead.
Is Grandma dead? Do we know that?
You know, that's a good question.
Melisari knows that because her death at Alice's hands was
Was
displayed
it
to detect
graphically
plots.
glorified in his mind?
No, because he was more focused on the loss that occurred seconds prior.
Yeah.
Do we know that she's dead?
Yes.
No, I'm talking in character.
Yes, okay. Yes, I am. Yes, she is dead.
Oh. Dwarves
Did
live
I
a
ever
long time.
tell them that I had been... Did I ever tell you guys that I had been using Detect Thoughts on him?
No.
Who's dead?
Grandma.
Oh.
Grandma Forgotten Fortress.
I mean, that seems
She had a
reasonable.
name that we knew, didn't she?
GFF.
Or at least that Amelie knew?
She did. I think I have a record of it. Let me go look.
I have acquired Flan.
That might be helpful.
Flan is always helpful.
I feel like it started with a T.
That sounds right, but it seems that it is not in the trimmed down notes which you received. And I don't remember where my full notes ended up.
Well, we can probably go back through and find it at some point. As in, I'll go back through the videos at some point and find it.
Sorry.
That's fine. I think it was probably discussed either the last time we were in the Hall of Histories or when we were in the library. And those are findable things. Anyway.
So, you speak Dwarvish early on.
Mm-hmm. Nope.
Were you living with dwarves when you were younger?
No, I've been living in the city for the past, what was it, 6 years? 8 years?
Something like that.
Yeah, almost a decade.
But I
Picked
thought you
up a few
were a
things.
traveling minstrel. You've been living in this city for the last decade? This one here?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh. So that's when
I
you
got
picked it up.
stuck. Yeah. You pick up things when you're trapped.
Trapped?
They didn't have the funds to leave.
Ah,
There's a lot of undead near here. Imagine that makes travel dangerous and
Expensive.
difficult.
We didn't really run into many of them on the way here. I suppose we got lucky.
If it was like 8 years ago, then it would have been pre-war.
was there anything still in the journal after Eleanor had been taken? Not really specific, but
A couple entries, but not many.
Because
How
that
she was fired, how she
plan
was
had a very short half-life.
yeah, well. Did we ask Eleanor why she was taken? If she even knew?
She just thought she was under the impression that she was leverage against Atlas, but didn't know why.
Okay. Anyway, okay. I feel like I have gotten what I needed from the journal. And the rest of you?
I have a chance to review the video. Yes, I think I have.
We could have caught you up.
What's the Cliff Notes version?
So we found out that the architect of the Forbidden Fortress, the king's grandmother, was trying to enlist Atlas's help in finding some drow in the area because he was perhaps the only one who knew where they were. And he was refusing, and she wasn't sure why, and they decided to push him a little harder by
Okay.
taking Eleanor. So yeah, that's what we learned.
Nice lady.
I also have a general sense of what life was like there, what the problems were, because I have now read the journal. Maybe not in its entirety, but
You really skimmed it.
I've skimmed it and read a few things of interest. Which
Gotta
I
get
can...
that eidetic memory.
I know. I'm really
Great,
thinking
I love that
Keen
feat.
Sense Keen Sense is coming up next. Ooh, that would be this level, wouldn't it?
We're
Yes.
about to become... Wait, no, we're going to 7 now, right?
Nope, there are 7.
We are 7?
We are 7.
We are 7.
Going on 8.
Damn.
Indeed.
Then yeah,
Keen
that would be
Sense.
this level. You right.
I was kind of hoping the evocation thing that lets you choose targets not to be affected was also a feat, and I was not successful in locating such a thing.
Yeah, no, it's
Yeah.
just the evocation wizard power.
Yeah, fuck them. Anyway,
Right, at 7 I became immune to charm.
shall we then? Question is, how do we now set about locating those that we need to locate?
Are we trying to locate?
Oh yeah, the drow. We decided that our next best course of action would likely be to find the friendly drow that the gnomes told us about,
Mhm.
and see if perhaps Atlas was protecting them / their ancestors because they had been nice to him.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And if not, if they maybe, would be aware of other such reasons why Atlas would be protecting drow.
I mean,
That
elves do
area.
live a long time.
Indeed.
It's possible there's still, some alive from then.
Indeed.
Well, I don't want to get my hopes up too high. It's what we've found here certainly supports the possibility that that is what was going on, but there's nothing, definitive about there being, him wanting to protect, drow that aren't following Lolth. That's just, right now, our hopes. We should investigate and find out what the truth is.
And even if we don't find them, or even if they can't help us, we have more information than we started with, and this could help get more information from Atlas or perhaps from Eleanor.
Progress is important. You feel like there is more information we can glean here? Or shall we maximize our remaining windwalk time?
There's the matter of the equipment. Equipment's the wrong word. Materials.
Right.
So yes, we do still need to get the crystals from the king.
Oh, right. I forgot about those. You would have been given them in your
Okay.
last conversation.
Oh, cool.
We have them.
There's the matter of these, but we solved that problem. So,
So, do we stay and search for more information, or shall we head out, believing that we have as much as we can get, or at least as much as we know we can benefit from at this time?
I believe that the most likely place for the most amount of knowledge is going to be finding the drow, and that there's not enough that we could glean here that we don't already know to warrant the increased travel time by losing out on more windwalk.
The only thing I can think that would be beneficial to know is if we could find anyone else's logs or journals who have more insight on why the drow needed to be removed and why Atlas was refusing. But that's certainly not a guarantee, if this is anything to go by.
I don't think that information is contained in the journal, but if we can find those people, I'm confident they'll know. But they still exist.
Like people who were involved with the Forgotten Fortress, you mean? Or like the drow?
The drow, I mean.
The drow. Then I believe we have our next course of action. I'll turn to the steward. Have you, are you or anyone else here aware of a group of drow who have been less than the norm, or different from the norm, as with our friend Eskel here? More kind to travelers.
He would be my first. This is gesturing to Eskel.
Yeah. Well, it could be worth asking around a little, but I suspect that If one so close to the king is not aware, there's a good chance no one is. Or at the very least, they keep it hushed. Are not inclined to speak of such things.
It would not serve.
It would
That
not
is-
what? Sorry.
I said it would not serve them to do so. Must do our own research.
Indeed. Shall we?
It's, Eskel has a lot of mixed emotions. Topic of discussion and is having to meaning a level of energy or excitement about the prospect of finding answers.
So basically, Eskel is raring and ready to go, and y'all are still sitting on the table.
Yep. In the beans.
Alright. I suppose we should address the king on our way out. Do I have the journal still? Should I give it to the steward? Is the steward, like, requesting it? Should I give it directly
He
to
will
the king?
have his hand out kind of to
Okay.
take it.
I'll hand it over. Although, now I am wondering if this is a translation as we surmised, if there is an original version that might have more information.
Didn't seem like this one pulled its punches. I would expect if there was another version that this one would have been softened, written to better, in light of hindsight. Given that that didn't happen, I have a suspicion that this is close to the...
I will kinda smile sadly, but say nothing further. Shall we say our farewells to the king then?
I'd looked. Is that customary?
Generally, you would just leave, and if he has further questions for you, he will address you, as you will have to pass through his throne room on the way to the exit.
Then we shall leave.
So the steward will head out back to his post, and as you come out here, you'll feel the king speak up. Did you find what you were looking for?
We have found a lead, and that is as much as we could ask. Thank you very much for all of your assistance.
I do hope this helps.
As do we.
And with that, he'll kind of turn back to what he was doing.
I figured out how to request to open doors, by the way.
There you go.
I
was
noticed.
clicked correctly.
Hey, I found the camel.
Wait, what?
Where's the camel?
Oh, what the fuck?
Oh, it's dead
Yeah.
now.
You guys passed it several times when it was
What?
way back in this alley, and like it was like just barely off Tristan's screen. Since you guys have missed it for like 3 sessions, I thought I'd move it someplace a bit more
Obvious.
Yeah, I was staying kind of zoomed in on the characters since Thomas had requested that. So I didn't look up that alley and see it, sorry.
You're good. Like, I'm just trying to learn where I need to hide these things. Because I want them to be somewhat difficult to find, but not, like, annoyingly hard.
Am I kind of tilted in
Yep.
the air for anybody
Yep.
else?
Yep.
Yeah.
What the fuck happened?
Just
Alright.
mid-fall.
This is bizarre.
So, who would you like to give inspiration to?
Oh, do I already have inspiration? I don't even know. I don't have
do it now.
inspiration. It's mine!
Okay.
Nom 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 nom.
This
Eat the
is so
camel.
weird.
Want me to fix it?
Perfect. Now she's vertical at least.
Alright, now finally.
You look
Does
very
that work?
comfortable.
Nope, that's just even free here. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna kill you. You're dead.
Aw, that better not count against my permanent record.
Oh my god. Okay. When I first pulled it
Hey.
out, you were still sideways.
Well then. Hey, stop moving me.
Alright, I'm just making sure it was working properly.
It's because it knew I was gonna try and attack the camel. And now you guys know my shame as well. Anyway. That was good timing, wasn't it?
The timing on that was really good.
Welcome.
That make me think of Star Trek's teleporters.
Ow.
What way?
Teleporters in Star Trek. Teleporters in Star Trek kill you.
How come I need to, like, essentially request to attack someone, but I can just magic missile the shit out of them?
Can I
I
attack you?
don't know.
That's
Can you attack me? You should be able to. Up. Yeah. Now you both magic missiled me at the same time. It just depends on who I highlighted last, so I generally have Eskel highlighted, so I can make
Alright.
attacks.
We should probably focus.
Now, what? So yeah, Star Trek teleporters disassemble you and then reassemble you.
They kill you.
Dead.
Disray.
Teleporter... Part 2?
Kill you and make a new one.
Are we all stacking on top of each other? Except for Eskel?
Yes, I think so. Where are we going? Are we teleporting?
Oh, no, we can't teleport.
No, I know. But we're talking about teleporting, so...
Well, this is
Are we
horrifying,
wishing?
and I don't think it's how fusion's supposed to work.
Are we cloud wishing?
On you wish upon a cloud.
Alright, so where are you guys heading now?
Should we, like, cloud form away from other people?
Well, I
Would it
imagine we can
alarm them
leave
too
the
much?
city so as not to freak anyone out, and then mistwalk.
I mean, we could just go into a dark alley. It is
You should probably
nighttime.
just leave the city.
Otherwise, they'll be
Fine.
like, hey, where'd those adventurers go? Well, they never left the city, so they must still be here.
Fair enough. Going downstairs is much more satisfying as a floating blob.
Wow.
As a floating character, not a floating blob. As opposed to hopping.
I like hopping. Now you're locked in.
How rude.
I'm just trying to shut doors that should probably be shut by now.
Oh, I should probably, like, go down to, normal people layer.
Excuse me.
Hey, wait a minute. This sign doesn't say welcome to Mount Mistle. It says suck it, noob. What does that mean? Hey, rude.
It took so long.
Sorry, I was busy doing other things.
No, I mean, I had the you're requesting to attack Eskel for so long as he was just moving around, and then he finally got close enough to me that it was a whack.
Well, that's just when I hit. He doesn't actually have to be close to you for me to.
Okay.
Except like here, I'll have Aurelion smack you.
Okay. I didn't realize that was a GM thing.
Yep.
Attacks require requests, but Magic Missile is free.
Yep.
Which is
That's what
weird.
I was saying.
Okay, well, I didn't understand at
Might
first, I'm
feel about
sorry.
it. Makes me feel a little OP. Which is like fine by me, I guess, but you know, might upset other people. Hey now.
You're an all-star?
Shut up.
Hey. Stop ganging up on me! Not fair.
Okay, we're having too much fun with this. Let's go back to the where are we going? The gnome village to see if anyone has leads.
As you guys start to leave, I need to address something that's in character, and that is the whereabouts of Al.
Oh yeah, I was going.
Oh, right,
I was
we
going
were
to
supposed to be
ask
out
about
of
it
the
so
library.
many moments earlier, and I just kept other things kept coming up. My bad. So as we're leaving, like,
Library.
hold on, wait a minute. Where's Al?
Just one,
shit.
2, 3.
Is this the library?
Yes, that's the library.
We were supposed to meet her in the library.
This is where you get confused because you keep when you're trying to count the number of people who are in a party because you forget to count yourself.
I always
And
count
then you're
myself
just like,
first.
oh, no, it is 4. Yeah, I forgot me. I didn't know it is 4.
Door open
Okay.
automatically.
I'm back in the library. Pacing.
I'm back from outer space.
Oh, we did it at the same time.
Wondering for the hours.
This means that we have good taste.
We didn't actually specify a time to meet. I suppose that would have been useful.
Correct. Let me add an NPC in here. The librarian, which had a name at one point, but I've forgotten. Because that was like months ago.
Yep.
I think most of the city has also forgotten their name. They are the librarian.
The orangutan?
No. It's a
I
different
do
library.
wish I had some sort of in-between besides practically naked combat dwarf and combat dwarf.
What?
The
Those
two
are like
states of
my
dwarf.
options.
I want to see practically naked combat dwarf.
Right here. Okay, not as naked as I thought, just because it was dark. But, still.
It was dark.
That, and this guy here. Rabbit Man. Those are your only casual dwarf. Well, besides the one that I've already used for the King and Steward.
And Stewart are getting sloshed.
So, let's see what my other options are. That'll do. May not be a dwarf, but it's something.
Yeah, and it's got variety. That must be a new one.
Yeah, I think it is. I think it's one of the backer
Well, I like him.
characters. Yeah. Hiku.
Give
Alright,
him a
so
name and write it down somewhere.
yeah, I'm working on it.
So this is our librarian.
Yes. This is the librarian, which you had met previously, but whose name I have forgotten.
I'm racist, or not racist, sexist. I thought the librarian was a woman.
May once have been. Not the case
No, that
anymore.
much I remember. It was a man.
Okay.
At least I'm like 80% sure.
80% sure, 60% sure, 23% sure, 70% sure.
Well, when I go back through and find the name of Grandma, I'll keep an eye out for the librarian's name too.
BFF.
And their gender.
Friend forever. Granny Forgotten Fortress.
Granny Forgotten Fortress.
I have brought this on myself.
Granny
So, where's our
Crowbar.
friend?
As you guys start to file in, you'll see him look up a little distressed. Oh, it's you. Not sure if this is good or bad. I mean, well, I guess this is bad for you regardless. Your friend seems to have been arrested.
What?
The elf likes to wear a hood.
Yes, I figured that's who you were talking about, but why?
That was unclear. Some sort of theft? Not sure what she might have stolen, but it was theft, or maybe she broke something. I'm not sure, but guards found her, and well, she's not. Well, obviously she's not here.
Did they say where it was stolen from, or
From the Hall of Histories, I think.
Melisari sighs. Should we go look into this?
The Hall of History is all those giant stones.
What was that? Sorry.
The Hall of Histories, that was all those giant stones.
Yeah, they're large sets of stone with like chiseled in accounts of important historical events.
And they think she stole one of those.
There are other things in there, but that is the, main portion.
As I was going to say, that didn't seem likely.
Unless there's something she's trying to. Let's not speculate. Perhaps we should go talk to her.
Yes, have to go. Find where they take criminals in this city.
You happen to know where they would have taken her.
What?
I say to the librarian.
To the dungeons, I would expect, while they try and figure out exactly what happened.
Just need directions.
He will give you directions. I don't have a dungeon built on this map, so sorry.
Or
So we
do you?
head there.
Okay. So you arrive at the entrance to the dungeons. And the one of the guards will ask, Do you have business here?
A friend of ours was apparently arrested. We want to see if we can ascertain what happened. I apparently really like the word ascertain today.
It's a good word.
It has the word ass in it.
But it really doesn't. ASC. So it's got the word ask.
Sort of.
I like asking questions.
It's really more ascertain.
So, yes, hooded elf extracted from the Hall of History.
I don't have anything quite by description. There was someone that we apprehended at the
Ugh.
library.
Yeah, I misunderstood and taken something from history. Either way, yes. Hooded elf. Library.
What are your names?
Eskel Trinier, Paladin of Bahamut.
Melisari Sarsandarol. Mage of Autumn Reach. Wizard of Autumn Reach. I keep forgetting that mage isn't like a class.
I mean, mage is acceptable, it's just unclear.
It's a profession.
It's a job title. It's perfectly acceptable.
Fine, the Mage of Autumn Reach. Or
It leaves you mysterious. You could be a
I'll just
wizard,
say
or a
Melisari
sorcerer, or a
Sarsandarol
warlock,
of
or a
Autumn
cleric.
Reach.
Point is, I cast spells and you shouldn't piss me off.
I mean, I didn't say that.
No, but that's what mage says.
Oh,
Come
and
on.
you, Sir Elf,
Aurelion Lantwill.
and lastly,
Kirkstone Forge, Paladin of Bahamut.
all right. Well, then this is the correct group. Not long after she was brought in, this letter was a letter was brought here by the King's Steward for you, I guess, assuming that you'd come here looking for answers.
A letter.
All right.
I eat the letter. No, I'm kidding. I read it.
I'm letting him read it and saying, so is she no longer here? Can we not see her?
But before you open it, you will see on the outside of the letter it says only open in private. So do you still open it here, or do you go someplace more secluded?
Is it just the stewed here?
Yes.
Does he look like the kind of person who can see through the back of a sheet of paper?
What if it's a howler? I say it, player.
No, he does not.
Does the guard answer my question though?
Oh, what was the question? Sorry, I missed it.
While Eskel was examining the letter, I said, but is she no longer here? Can we not see her?
I was told not to answer any questions and let the letter take care of that.
Very well then. And I turn to Eskel.
Alright, and so
I'm just gonna be like
what you-
holding it up so that like the back of it is fully facing him, so that I am reading it in private.
Melisari is raising an eyebrow at this.
You know, see a message with Lyra will say, My apologies for having to go about things this way, but with the whole of history's compromised, and the only people in the city that I can trust to have not done it being the 4 of you, or 5 of you, I am in need of one of your number to find out who it is, and, well, quite frankly, if they appear to be against the king for similar reasons as the one we are trying to find, it may give them some credibility in their efforts to find who originally defaced some of the tablets within the Hall of Histories. This was not something we had a place or time to ask for your consent, but I will make sure that there is ample army to assist you when that time comes in exchange.
Signed by the steward?
It would probably be signed by the steward, but the name of the king.
Gotcha. I'm going to consider it for a moment and then roll it back up. And the guard who was hidden behind it for a moment, say, see, we will not find our friend inside. We must...
Very well.
I will explain.
Melisari is eyeing everyone specifically. Anyway.
Suspiciously?
Auspiciously.
Auspiciously?
Anyway.
Return to our previous plan for the moment. Thank you for delivering the message. Knight, Sir Guard, Sir Dwarf.
My dude.
My dude.
To the away then.
You're welcome. He knows you're fishing for a name, but you're also a drow, and so...
Oh no, I wasn't
really
fishing for a name. I was actually asking out of character if he was a knight.
Guard, basically.
Sir Guard.
I would like to do a thing, doo-da, doo-da. This store isn't my way, oh doo-da.
No, I was very much entertained by Dirk ramming himself against the door repeatedly to try and make it open. Seems to be stuck.
Alright. I think I'm going to have to call it there, even though we normally would have another half hour to go. Because with things having developed today as they have, I need to get an idea of where things are heading next, so that I can be more appropriately prepared with encounters and whatnot.
That makes sense.
I at
We have
least
a good,
apprise the party of the message only I read, or should we hold that?
Yes,
time?
now you would be able to be in place.
Okay. So, yes, once we're outside the city and assured that there isn't anybody around, at least as far as we can tell, I would
Well, then we can never be sure.
hold
Paranoia,
up the
be alive.
rolled parchment.
I'm going to stop interrupting you now.
And say,
Bruce?
according to the... She is wanted for her investigative skills in ascertaining for destruction of the tableaus you discovered and told us about earlier in the Techno.
Melisari frowns, but nods.
King
I
has
suppose.
assured us that they will be of what they are not in our care, and that we will be provided with ample reinforcement should.
Well, let us hope that she is able to find the information we seek then. And that we are able to find the other information we seek.
Could have been worse.
Alright. Unless you guys feel that there's more to be said.
I've said my piece.
Then I guess we can call that a session. And for our viewers' information, in case it is not apparent, Ari, the player of Al, has had to leave the game for a time. Hopefully they'll be able to return soon or at some point. But for now, we have had to give them reason to no longer be around. Alright.
Alright. Well, thank you for running the session for us, Derek.
Yay!
Happy to do it. Hope you guys all had fun.
Much fun.
I love bad-mouthing members of other clergy.
Oh, don't get me wrong, they're kind of stupid, but education and, thinking are not exactly the,
Core tenets
strong
of war.
points. I'm like, even if it wasn't core, it's not exactly a strong point around here. No, I'm not saying the dwarves are stupid. I'm just saying that this general area prides strength of arms over strength of mind.
How to fight all them zombies.
Zombies, Durgar, Drow, Gorgons, Wisps.
Oh, Dwergar. You
You're
said
alive.
Durgar. I'm like, is he in this game?
Right, sorry, my brain, especially because you have said the phrase Durgar with Dwergar numerous times, my brain tends to confuse the two quite frequently.
It was
That's
the
fair.
weirdest thing. Anyway, I will end the stream.
Goodbye, stream.
Bye, stream.